Hello dreamers. Welcome back to New Life with Alice, the coziest corner of bedtime, where sleepy adventures float across the sky and gentle dreams take shape. Tonight's journey is called the Dreamy Star Balloon Ride, and it begins, like many wonderful things, on a warm afternoon under the softest blue sky. In a quiet clearing where wildflowers swayed and the clouds looked like fluffy marshmallows, two very special friends were enjoying a slow, breezy day. Benny the Breezy Bear, with his signature blue and cream scarf, lay on his back watching the sky move gently above. Beside him, Twizzle the Turtle rocked slowly in a hammock strung between two willow trees, sipping from a cup of warm vanilla chamomile tea. The peace was just perfect, until the soft whoosh of wings and a giggle broke the calm. Mimi the mouse, the town's tiniest news scout and part-time stargazer, came tumbling in through the flower arch, nearly tripping over her notebook and telescope. Her little nose twitched with excitement, and her tail curled like a question mark. She was clearly buzzing with news. "You'll never guess. You'll never ever guess," she squeaked, waving a rolled-up scroll that looked far too big for her tiny paws. Benny sat up slowly, blinking in his usual sleepy way. Guess what, Mimi?" he asked, already reaching into his picnic basket to make her a honey-sweet berry smoothie, her favorite. "It's the biggest news since ever." Mimi puffed, hopping onto the picnic rug. She took the smoothie from Benny with a grateful sigh. "Thanks. Okay, ready." Twizzle blinked one eye open. "Ready," he said slowly, stretching his legs like a cat. Mimi stood tall, well, as tall as a mouse can, and declared, "The planets are having a parade tonight. Real one. 6 of them, dancing across the sky in a perfect line. All at once." Benny's ears perked up, and Twizzle rolled onto his shell with interest. "Wait, really?" Benny asked, tilting his head. "Like, the actual planets? In the sky?" "Yes," Mimi squeaked. 6 of them. Venus, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus, all parading through the night sky together. It hasn't happened in years. The stargazers are calling it a planetary parade. Twizzle slowly nodded. "My cousin works at the Cosmic Observatory. He mentioned something like this in his last letter. Said it only happens once every few decades." "Exactly," said Mimi. "It's so rare, and guess what? We'll be able to see most of them with just our eyes. Though for Neptune and Uranus, you might want to borrow my telescope." Benny tapped his paw to his chin. That sounds very special," he said. Then his eyes lit up with an idea. "Twizzle, Mimi, this sounds like the perfect time to throw a star balloon party." Twizzle's eyes sparkled. "A balloon ride? Under the planetary parade? Floating among the stars?" "Yes," Benny giggled, standing and wiggling with excitement. "We'll fill up the dream balloons, tie on cozy cushions, and float into the night sky. We can invite everyone. It'll be the gentlest, most magical night in the whole forest." Mimi's whiskers twitched with joy. "I'll tell everyone. I'll glide from glen to glen and whisper it to every sleepyhead I meet." "Brilliant," Benny cheered. "But we have to hurry. The parade starts tonight." Twizzle yawned a slow, happy yawn. "I'll pack the stargazing blankets and sleepy snacks." And just like that, Mimi fluttered away, notebook in paw, tail trailing behind her like a shooting star. Benny and Twizzle began their preparations, quietly humming as they imagined glowing balloons rising up, drifting toward the stars. The dreamy star balloon ride was about to begin. Mimi the mouse, full of purpose and excitement, popped on her sparkly helmet and jumped onto her stardust pink bicycle. With a little push and a jingling bell, she pedaled off across the sleepy meadow, her tiny feet moving so fast they were a blur. She zipped between the buttercup trails and past dragonflies napping in the reeds. Mimi was nothing if not determined, and Benny and Twizzle knew that if she had to ride all the way to the Milky Way and back to share the news, she would. "She'll do a brilliant job telling all our forest friends," Twizzle said, admiring how Mimi's backpack bounced gently behind her. "But what about travelers?" Benny wondered aloud. What if someone just wanders by and doesn't know about our star balloon ride? Twizzle blinked slowly. We'll need a sign. A really big sign. With a nod of agreement, the two friends scurried over to Benny's art shed, a tiny space filled with glitter jars, enchanted paper, rainbow brushes, and magical smudge-proof markers. Benny grabbed his favorite silver starlight pen and wrote across a cloud-shaped board in sweeping, sparkly letters. Shooting star balloon ride tonight. A planetary parade party. Milky Way. Time sunset. Place Whispering Hill. Dress code. Astronomy chic sparkles. Astronomy chic? Twizzle asked, tilting his head. Benny giggled. No idea. But doesn't it sound shiny and magical? Twizzle nodded thoughtfully. Like moon boots and star hats. Together, they began to decorate the sign. Benny drew Mars as a glowing red circle and Venus in soft pink, remembering that someone once said Venus was named after a goddess of love. Jupiter was drawn like a golden marble with a stormy swirl, and Saturn had an enormous glittery ring around it, which Benny looped carefully using his blue yarn stash. Neptune and Uranus were tiny bluish-purple dots dancing on the corner of the board, looking just like sleepy eye blinks in the sky. When everything was perfect, Benny dipped his paw into the glitter paint and stamped it in the corner. His very own artist's signature. Then came the final mission, hanging the sign. Twizzle called on their helpful neighbor, Ozzy the octopus, who had already finished rinsing rainbow cups in his outdoor bubble tub. With a whoosh of his 8 arms, Ozzy carefully carried the sign up the hill and hung it on the tallest lantern post along the sleepy woodland road, where everyone wandering by, forest critters, cloud surfers, and dream dragonfly riders, would see it. With that done, Benny and Twizzle followed the smell of warm cinnamon and roasted starfruit back to the heart of the forest, the kitchen of their dear friend Mrs. Tilly, the bear chef. As they stepped inside, their eyes widened. Every surface was covered in bowls, trays, sacks of dream dough, piles of pastel marshmallows, and stacks of sweet cloud cakes, teetering and wobbling like sleepy towers. The air shimmered with vanilla sugar mist and sparkling fruit steam. Mrs. Tilly was twirling gracefully on her paws, her apron tied tight and her fur dusted with flour. Her favorite lullaby music crackled softly from the old radio perched on the windowsill, and she hummed along as she stirred an enormous pot of glowing moonberry jam. Meanwhile, Ozzy, having reappeared through the back window, was now multitasking with flair. 2 tentacles rolled out sky crust dough with a giant rolling pin, another sprinkled stardust sugar, and 2 more balanced a stack of glitter cookies with tiny planets drawn on top. "He's a flower tornado," Benny whispered, giggling. Mrs. Tilly turned and beamed at them. "Ah, just in time," she called. "I'm making my galaxy swirl pies, star popcorn, and lunar lollipops. If we're hosting a planetary party, we need proper cosmic treats." Twizzle nodded wisely. "And sleepy snacks," he added. "Don't forget the sleepy ones." "Of course, darling," Mrs. Tilly winked. "Dreamy treats for dreamy rides." The whole kitchen swirled with light, sound, and scent, a magical preparation for a night unlike any other. And as the stars began blinking to life in the darkening sky, Benny looked out the window and whispered, "Tonight we ride." Inside the cozy forest kitchen, the sounds of bubbling pots and gentle lullaby music filled the air. Steam curled through the rafters like sleepy clouds. Benny the Breezy Bear and Twizzle the Turtle peeked curiously over the counter as Mrs. Tilly, their master chef and friend, stirred a golden, sticky caramel that shimmered like melted starlight. Benny's eyes widened and his mouth watered instantly. His paw crept slowly toward the pot. Just a little taste. But thwack. Mrs. Tilly gently tapped his paw with her wooden spoon, laughing. "Too hot, sleepy bear. I need that caramel for the moon pies." She handed him a cracked honey biscuit instead, still warm and soft. Benny happily munched it in 2 bites. Meanwhile, Twizzle leaned over another enormous vat that bubbled quietly near the back stove. His nose twitched at the dreamy, savory scent drifting up. "What is that?" Twizzle asked, blinking in bliss. "Ah," Mrs. Tilly smiled. "That's my special French onion soup of the stars. Learned it when I trained in Paris. long ago at the cosmic culinary school. She stirred the pot gently, her eyes turning wistful. After long days of baking meteor buns and simmering stardust sauce, I'd sit on my balcony, look at the sky, and sip this soup. It was like a warm cuddle for the soul, a hug in a mug, a puddle of cuddle. Twizzle leaned so close his nose nearly touched the steam. Mrs. Tilly chuckled and slipped the lid on, then wrapped her furry arms around both of them, steering them softly toward the back door. "I love you two stargazers, but I must finish this feast," she said gently. "So off you go. We need decorations. Think twinkly things. Paper chains, party hats, sparkling leaves. Go, go, go." Benny and Twizzle giggled. They knew she was trying to get some space in the kitchen. But she was right, those were wonderful ideas. The friends wandered outside into the soft golden hour light. The breeze was gentle, the cacti around the meadow swayed slightly, and the first stars were just beginning to blink awake. They picked a wide open spot between the moonflowers and the firefly bush, the perfect place for the star balloon ride launch zone. "Let's make it cozy and glowy," Benny said, dragging a squishy sofa from the reading nook of the treehouse diner. Twizzle nodded and pulled out blankets stitched with constellations, arranging them like a sky map across the grass. "Fairy lights?" he asked. Benny pointed toward the cacti. "Yes, let's wrap them around the plants, like a sparkly fence." Soon, a familiar shape skated toward them. It was Ozzy the octopus, gliding along on enchanted wheels, a bundle of craft paper, glitter, and string clutched in his arms. "Delivery," he beamed. "Also, I stayed to help." With Ozzy's extra tentacles folding, cutting, and taping, the team got to work. They built long paper chains in silver and soft sky blue, looping them between lantern poles and cactus arms. They giggled as the wind tugged at the paper. It looked like the sky was already dancing with excitement. They created papier-mâché planets, one for each that would appear in the sky tonight. Mars, glowing red. Jupiter, swirly gold. Neptune, mysterious blue. Venus, soft and pink, and more. Benny even made a silly extra one. A round, brown, polka-dotted planet he called Benopotamia. "For future dreamers," he said proudly, adding a tiny flag on top. They rolled silver card into cone-shaped party hats, glued tiny star pom-poms on the tip, and tied soft elastic under the chin. The hats shimmered under the fading light. As for confetti, Twizzle had a clever idea. Just nearby, the ancient glimmer tree rustled. Its silvery, paper-thin leaves twinkled softly in the wind. The trio gathered handfuls and gently crumbled them, letting the pieces fall like gentle moon dust across the grass. Everything sparkled. Everything felt ready. The sky blushed orange and pink as the sun began to yawn its way down, and Benny looked up, whispering, "Soon the stars will come, and we'll float among them." By the time every last fairy light was strung and the paper planets were gently swaying in the breeze, the sky had deepened into a soft, inky indigo. Tiny stars blinked above like sleepy eyes waking up for their night shift. In the far distance, gentle headlights twinkled between the trees. Friends were arriving for the magical gathering. Back and forth across the party field twirled Mrs. Tilly, balancing platters stacked high with warm galaxy swirl buns, dreamy moonberry pies, marshmallow meteors, and glittery fruit orbs. She placed them carefully on the long leaf-decorated wooden table under the stars. Everything sparkled. Everything smelled like a dream you never want to wake up from. Once the final tray was placed, Mrs. Tilly smiled and declared, "Now, time to dress up." Everyone rushed off to change into their most fabulous planetary parade outfits. Benny and Twizzle scrambled upstairs to Benny's cozy treehouse bedroom, where glowing mushrooms lit the corners and sleepy music played from a starlight record player. With excited giggles, they dumped their entire wardrobe onto the bed. Soft pajamas, fuzzy cloaks, capes with sparkles, boots with pom-poms, and every dreamy piece of clothing they owned. "I want to look like the sky," Benny announced, rummaging through the pile. "I want to look like the moon," Twizzle replied calmly, pulling out a shimmering gray poncho. Benny disappeared into the little bathroom with a mountain of clothes. Twizzle stayed behind, humming softly, laying out his options and debating whether silver or blue made his shell look more like Saturn's rings. When Benny finally emerged, the Starlight song began its favorite glittery chorus. Just in time. Twizzle's jaw dropped. Benny wore a soft pink t-shirt decorated with a sweeping rainbow made of rhinestones. Around his belly, a big silver belt with a glowing star buckle sparkled like a mini supernova. His fluffy legs sported flared, sequined pants that shimmered with every bounce. 2 glittery pom-poms bobbled on his headband above his sleepy ears, and purple glitter trailed from his eyes to his nose like magical stardust. Draped over his shoulders was a gigantic silver feather boa that sparkled like the Milky Way. Twizzle looked down at his modest moon poncho, blinked once, and promptly tossed it back into the pile. He dug until he found a silver leather jacket, a galaxy-patterned scarf, and rainbow slippers. 5 minutes later, they both strutted downstairs like stargazing royalty. As they entered the glowing field, everyone turned and clapped with joy. Mrs. Tilly had face paint doodles of little planets and shooting stars on her soft cheeks. She wore a flowing green gown and a deep blue shawl, saying she'd come dressed as her favorite planet, Earth. Ozzy the octopus waved from beside the buffet. He wore his favorite band shirt, the dustbin lids, but he'd added a shimmering silver bracelet to each tentacle. Perched on his head was a sparkling crown, each prong tipped with a glowing star. The glowing headlights from earlier were now just a few meters away. The first to arrive. A glowing pink cloud car that purred as it glided in. Out stepped Tallulah Twinkle, the glamorous starlit possum with silver gloves and a sky blue scarf flowing behind her. "I've brought the music," she called, waving elegantly. Inside the cloud car were her bandmates. Sandy the skunk, who wore a glitter cape, and Barry the bulldog, whose muscles were perfect for lifting amplifiers and a sparkly disco ball. With teamwork and giggles, they set up a small moon stage and strung a disco ball from the tallest sunflower pole nearby. It shimmered like Saturn's rings under the fairy lights. Then came the rest of the guests. Sparkles Mr. Tilly and the tiny bears. Sparkles Mimi the mouse and her mum. Sparkles Barbara the sleepy sheep. Sparkles Cassidy the cloud cowboy. Sparkles Zara the zooming post dog. Sparkles Turnip the pot-bellied pig. Sparkles and dozens of other gentle, dreamy animals. The clearing buzzed with warmth and soft excitement. Every bean bag, blanket, and mossy cushion was claimed. The stars above shimmered brighter, as if they too had RSVP'd to the night's adventure. And somewhere above, 6 glowing planets had begun their quiet parade across the sky. The decorations twinkled like dreams stitched into the sky, and the air was thick with sweet smells and sleepy excitement. Fairy lights glowed softly between the cacti, while floating candles hovered in gentle loops above the long wooden buffet table. The entire field shimmered in magical quiet. Guests swayed gently to the soothing voice of Tallulah Twinkle, who now stood under a silver archway in a glimmering rose-pink tassel dress. Her curly fur fell loose over her shoulders as she crooned a lullaby jazz tune into a glittery old microphone. Her notes drifted up like dandelion seeds into the deepening twilight. Then it happened. One by one, little paws and snouts began to turn upward. Above them, 6 glowing planets appeared, sparkling like celestial lanterns in the deep violet sky. Mars, red and bold. Venus, soft and radiant. Mercury, darting like a golden pearl, and Jupiter, massive and grand, with its familiar swirl. High above, through the telescopes, Neptune and Uranus shimmered like distant, icy dreams. "Oh!" gasped the animals, their voices hushed in awe. Mr. Tilly the bear, wearing his observatory glasses, had rolled out 2 big brass telescopes. One pointed toward Neptune, the other locked in on Uranus. He adjusted the dials and stood back, inviting guests to peer into the endless sky. A gentle queue formed. Some whispered, some giggled, others stood frozen in wonder. Everyone took turns gazing upward, into space. Benny the Breezy Bear watched with wide, sleepy eyes. "They're really up there," he murmured. "Just floating. Like us in our balloons," Twizzle whispered back. Some guests sat back in their chairs, simply dreaming with their eyes open. Others had curious questions. "Why does Jupiter have so many moons?" asked Zara the post dog. Mr. Tilly smiled and invited Barbara the sheep, a part-time space historian, to explain. "Well," she began softly, "Jupiter has 95 moons. Can you imagine? Looking up at night and seeing a whole family of moons smiling down at you." Gasps and whispers floated through the crowd. She continued, "Our solar system is about 4.6 billion years old, and we're just one little dot in a galaxy with at least 100 billion galaxies out there. Isn't that wild?" The animals nodded in sleepy amazement. But eventually, as the planets twinkled above, the scent of warm soup called them back down to Earth. Mrs. Tilly ladled out bowls of her famous starlight onion soup. Each steaming mug came with a little toasted moon cheese bread floating on top like a boat in broth. Benny sank into a bean-bag chair, holding his soup close. Twizzle settled beside him, and they both dipped their spoons with slow delight. Benny sighed. "This tastes like stardust and snuggles." All around them, animals smiled as they sipped and nibbled. Soft music playing, fireflies drifting, friends gathered close. It was, without a doubt, a night to remember. Once soup mugs were empty and bellies warm, the dessert table opened. It was a dream buffet. Glowing star-shaped cookies with silver sugar dots. Rainbow galaxy cake pops on shimmering sticks. Chocolate bar, a chocolate fountain swirling like Saturn's rings. Ice cream in twinkling bowls. Milky Way candy apples wrapped in cosmic sugar. Watermelon fresh star fruit slices glowing under fairy lights. And just when it couldn't get more relaxing, Ozzy the octopus disappeared. Only to return rolling a few large bubble basins. "Foot spas," he announced proudly. "Soak your paws while you stargaze." Squeals of joy followed. Animals slid into the warm bubbly water with happy sighs. Ozzy even had a whole wooden barrel just for himself. He climbed in with a splash and declared, "Hot tub under the stars, this is my new thing." As if on cue, a shooting star streaked across the heavens. Every creature paused. Everyone closed their eyes. Everyone made a wish. Benny tried to think of something to wish for. But he couldn't. He whispered, "I don't want to change anything. This is perfect." A moment later, Ozzy tapped the microphone gently with a tentacle. Then he raised his lemonade. "I just wanted to say," he began, "how lucky I feel to be floating through the universe with all of you. Out of all the billions of stars and planets, I'm really glad I landed here." The crowd raised their glasses. "To Earth," Ozzy said. "To each other. To wonder." Then with a grin, he added his favorite 2 words. "Let's dance." Mr. Tilly flipped on a spotlight. It hit the disco ball, sending sparkles spinning across every face, every tree, every sleepy smile. The music picked up, and beneath the planets, the animals danced softly into the night. The music shimmered gently over the starlit meadow. Laughter mixed with twinkling melodies as boots tip-tapped and tails spun in soft, sleepy circles. All across the party floor, animals danced in a dreamy rhythm, gliding, turning, and giggling under the sparkle of the disco ball. And though no one wanted the night to end, the stars whispered that it was time to slow down. Much later, long past their usual bedtime, Benny the Breezy Bear and Twizzle the Turtle padded quietly back to their cozy treehouse, still humming the melodies that floated gently through their thoughts. Their steps were slow, their eyes heavy with stardust. Sleep had begun to nuzzle its way into their paws and under their eyes. In the warm glow of the treehouse lights, they took sleepy showers, soft water turning to bubbly foam as they washed away glitter and moon dust. Their soft fur was fluffed, their scales warmed, and their yawns grew longer with each passing minute. Wrapped in thick, fuzzy dressing gowns, they waddled around like 2 sleepy marshmallows, little pom-poms in pajamas. The soft whir of the hairdryer made their ears droop, and the warmth of the room wrapped them like a blanket before the blankets even did. They brushed their teeth slowly, combed their fur and shells, and padded toward the window where the parade of planets still shone quietly above. They paused. Just a moment. Just long enough to whisper, "Thank you, sky. Thank you, stars. Thank you, world. Then, with sleepy smiles, they drew the curtains shut and tiptoed to their beds. Nestled under mounds of warm, woolly blankets, they curled up and sighed deeply. Safe, still, soft. Good night, whispered Benny. Night, night, murmured Twizzle. And slowly, they drifted. Now, my little dreamer, you too can close your eyes and let go of the day. Feel your body settle, your arms becoming soft and heavy. Your legs too, relaxing deeper and deeper with each breath. Breathe in, now, and out again. Let your body melt into your blanket like a sleepy cloud sinking into the night. And here's a secret, a magical one about sleep. While your body rests, your mind becomes free. Free to wander, to float, to fly. Imagine now that your thoughts are a balloon, gentle, glowing, untied from a fence. It begins to rise. It drifts through the sky, weightless and calm, lifting higher and higher until, cloud, you reach the clouds. Plow. Soft, fluffy clouds spread out all around you, like marshmallows in moonlight. White and silver, puffy and smooth. You can lie on them. You can roll gently side to side. They cradle your sleepy body with softness, like the world is hugging you. Some clouds are big and plump like pillows. Some are wisps, thin like feathers. Some look like cotton candy and others like tiny mountains made of snow. Let your body rest. Let your mind rest. You are safe. You are cozy. You are drifting. Close your eyes. Float softly. Up, up, up. And now, in this world of dreams, you can go anywhere. Canoe, maybe you'll float across an ocean, with soft blue ripples that shimmer like sleepy lullabies. Castle, or visit a castle in the sky, with spiral towers and silver bridges that light up with your every step. Evergreen tree, or wander into a quiet forest, where birds whisper sweet songs and the trees wrap around you like friendly arms. Breathe in, breathe out. Just like Benny and Twizzle, floating off into peaceful sleep. You're already there, in the gentle dreamland above the clouds. The stars are watching, the moon is smiling, and your dreams are ready. Sleep well, little explorer. Sleep deep, sleep light, sleep bright. Crescent moon ZZZ. And now, as you lie tucked in, all warm and still, with your eyes softly closed, take a gentle look around. Not with your eyes, but with your imagination. Where have your dreams taken you tonight? When I fall asleep, I sometimes find myself in a world floating high above the earth, a place made entirely of clouds. The clouds up here are soft and puffy, stretching in all directions like a giant blanket across the sky. Sometimes the clouds are dappled in silver, catching the light of the glowing moon. Other times they shimmer in soft pinks and glowing golds, reflecting the twinkle of stars all around. Sparkles, what form do your dreams take tonight? Shooting star, where does your mind go when you drift off to sleep? Perhaps you see flocks of fluffy white sheep, all gathered in a peaceful meadow nestled between the clouds. There's a mama ewe yawning deeply, then tucking her baby lambs beneath her soft wool, whispering, "Good night, my little ones." Or maybe you see something magical, like a gentle cloud-colored dragon curled up among the stars, his long tail wrapped around his body like a cozy scarf. With every breath, he puffs out tiny clouds from his nostrils. He sees you, smiles, and with a big sleepy yawn, he waves. Do you see puppies? Little fluffy ones lying on their backs, their paws twitching gently in dreamland, their tongues lolling out, their eyes slowly closing. And there's their papa dog, big and white, patting over on cloud-soft paws to kiss them goodnight. Up here on this sea of clouds, you are free. You are floating. You are safe. Feel it now, how light you are. Like a balloon. Like a feather. Like a whisper of wind. Everything heavy from the day. Any worries, big or small, let them lift off of you now. Let them rise with the clouds and drift gently away, carried by the wind until they vanish behind a hill of stardust and peace. Any thoughts that try to stay, you don't need them. Just watch them float. They are not you. You are not your worries. You are calm. You are whole. You are free. Now you are light as air, gentle as starlight, soft as clouds. The entire sky wraps around you now like a cozy hug. The clouds below you are a bed. The stars above you are lullabies. The moon watches over you with kind, sleepy eyes. Close your eyes. Feel your body settle. Feel your muscles soften. Let your head grow heavy, your arms relax, your legs loosen. Breathe in. Now. And out again. The world of clouds is waiting for you. Let yourself fall into their soft, warm hug. They're here to hold you, to protect you, to comfort you. Zzz, let the clouds rock you gently into the land of sleep. Zzz, let the moonlight tuck you in. Zzz, let your dreams begin. You are light. You are weightless. You are drifting peacefully through the sky. Sleep well, little one. Sleep well in the land of clouds. Feel how soft you are. How calm. How peaceful. You are floating, drifting, held in love and calm. Light as air. Gentle as starlight. Soft as clouds. Good night, little dreamer. Sleep tight.